All right, everyone. Welcome to Website Accessibility 2021. My name is Ryan Clancy, and I'm the Client Success Manager here at Educational Networks, and I'm very excited to have you all joining us today for this presentation. Before we get started, we have a little bit of a game plan of everything that we're going to be taking a look at. We're going to first start off by talking about why website accessibility. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have a chance to go in and see some of the solutions that your website offers. You have a lot of great features on your website. From there, we're going to go in and see how we can make these changes live as well. And throughout today's workshop, throughout today's presentation, please remember to feel free to ask any questions that you have. Remember to ask questions. What you want to go in and do is you want to type those questions in the chat box. That's going to be located just towards the right-hand side of your screen. And I'm going to be happy to go ahead and to help with those questions. All right, everyone. Now that we've had a chance to see our game plan, let's go ahead and let's get started. So did you know, according to the CDC, 61 million Americans have a disability? And what happens is when these individuals, regardless of the type of disability they have, navigating sites that are not accessible can be very difficult. And it's important to note that there are a variety of disabilities, including visual and hearing impairments, and it makes ensuring that your site is accessible vital. So what we see over here, everyone, is two different types of essentially color blindness. What you see towards the right is you have tritanopia, and then actually towards over here, this is we would see normally over here as well. So it shows just how different a site can be seen. So that's one reason here it's important to make sure that everything that you add to the site, it's important to make sure that it's all accessible. Now, it's important to note, too, that as we're talking about this today, is that there's easy steps that you can take today to ensure this. And that's exactly, everybody, what we're going to go ahead and take a look at next. One thing that's really important to note here, too, everyone, is the right formatting really can make or break a website for someone who's using, for example, a screen reader. So what we see over here is an example of how the formatting can help. What we see is how this page here has the proper headings. Headings are important, especially if someone's going in and they're using a screen reading program to go in and to visit your website. That's how the screen reading program is going to follow the page essentially, and it also allows the individual who's using a screen reading program, it allows them to tab to different content on that page as well. So it makes it easier for them to go in and to navigate a particular page. Something else that's really cool that we can do here that makes it easy is to go in and to add alternative text to images. And this is something that you can do on the photo album module. You can actually do it on news and announcements as well, and with our new page editor too. So it's definitely something cool. It's an easy way for us to go and make our website more accessible. Also too, how we go in and we put documents onto a page is important as well. What we see are two different ways here that a document is added onto a particular page on the website. So the first one here, the one at the top here, this would not be something that would be considered to be accessible, and here's why. We see that it says click here for music department student contract. And what we see here is that the word here is what's linked. And what a screen reading program will do is it will look for links on a page. Now this here, it doesn't tell the program anything about that particular document. A better way to go in and to do this is to go in and have your document listed just like this right here. To have it say just the exact name of the document. And it's also helpful too, we see that we have an extra heading here as well that this example here does not have. And that can allow the person who's using the screen reading program to be able to easily go in and tab to this particular section if that's the information that they are looking for there. What we're going to do now, everyone, is we're going to see just how easily we can all go in and make these changes on our website here. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to navigate over to Green Tech High School. And I have a great question here from Ramona. Ramona asks, will we have access to this presentation? Absolutely. This presentation is actually being recorded right now. And once it's ready, I will go ahead and send that out to everybody. What we're going to do, everyone, is we're going to go over here to the Students tab. You're welcome, Ramona. And we're going to go over here to the Green Tech High Scholar Rules and Expectations. Now, a couple things we're going to notice about this particular page. One thing that we're going to notice here is that all the text on the page is pretty much the same type. So it's not set as headings. Instead, what was done here is that the text was made to be underlined. It was also made to be bold. So that does change the appearance of the text, but it does not properly, for lack of a better term, code that text to be a proper heading. So let's go ahead and start with that. So I'm just going to start here by going in, and I'm going to log in. And what I'm going to start with here, everybody, is I'm just going to start by going in and setting the heading here. Now with headings, it's important to note that they follow a hierarchy. They follow an order on the page. And it's from that order that the screen reading programs are going to basically follow the page. Also, too, we want to remember that that will also go in and allow anyone who's using a screen reading program to be able to go in and to toggle to particular content that they're looking for. So what I'm going to do here first, everyone, is I'm going to go in and I'm going to switch this here to heading 1. So I want to make sure to follow that order. So this is kind of like the welcome page here. So we'll go ahead and have it say welcome here. And what I'm going to do after I've done that, it's actually going to go ahead and remove the formatting that we have on here. So we've added on the heading 1, and you really want to reserve that for titles on the page. Now we need to go in and we need to add the formatting to this content over here. So what I do here first is I'm just going to go in and I'm going to highlight over this. Now in this case, this really isn't the title of the page. Instead, this is more or less like a subsection. So in this case, I set that to heading 2. And the same thing, I'm going to remove that formatting. We want to remember that we do not want to use the formatting options we have here to create headings. We do want to make sure that we're going to this drop-down menus to essentially select that text to set it as that heading. And that will in turn tell the screen reading program essentially where it is on the page and the type of section that it's looking at too. So that's something that's important to note. So we've gone in and done that. Let's do that to these here as well. Now I'm just going to make this, just going to remove that, and then I'm going to go in and set this also to heading 2. And we do the same here as well, heading 2. Perfect. Now I'm just going to go in and remove the formatting that we have. And add a little bit of a space to this as well. Perfect. There we go. All right. So we've gone in, everyone. We've fixed the formatting here. What we're going to do next here, everyone, is we're going to go in and we're going to fix the formatting in this area here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and highlight over this same thing. And I'm also going to set this to heading 2. So it's all part of the same page. Now I could absolutely, if I wanted to add a subsection of this area here, I could absolutely use heading 3. But in this case, we'll set this to heading 2. Now it brings up an interesting question. So when you're going in order here, the question is, can you go back up to heading 1 or heading 2? Generally, you do want to go in and you want to avoid that. In this case here, though, everything's set to heading 2 as well. So in this case, this page here, we're not having to really worry about that here. but generally you do want to follow that order. So in this case, we've already gone to heading 2. We don't necessarily want to go back up to heading 1. So it's just something to keep in mind there. So we've gone in, we've fixed our headings, we've gone in and we've set up headings. But there's other content here we need to fix. And as a matter of fact, we have a really cool tool here to help us with this. Take a look at this here. You see this icon over here? It kind of looks like an emoji. If you go in and you click on this here, what happens is it provides recommendations on the page here. Now we see 2 things here that we need to definitely go in and fix. But let's go ahead and first start with this particular image here. What we're going to do is to add on that alternative text, we just right click on the image. And then from here, we go in and we select accessibility. Now, right from the screen, we can go in and we can set up that alternative text. So what I do here is I just click on this, and we want to remember with the alternative text, we really want to go in and we want to describe what's going on that photo there. So in this case here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in our students, we'll say that they're on a field trip on the university field trip. Now what happens is we go in and we click apply. And if I save the page, we click on the emoji icon again. Now we see there's just one recommendation that we need to go in and take a look at here. Now it's important to note as well that this is not the only place that you can go in and add alternative text to or captions. So let's take a look at the photo album module real quickly. What I'll do is I'm just going to go in. If we go over to our hamburger button, we go to information, or actually go to photos and multimedia, I should say, and photo album. What I can do here is I can go in and click on the field trips album. And let's set this here actually as our featured album. Now, what happens here with the photo album, to go in and set a photo as a cover photo, what you have to do is you want to go in, you want to click on the image. And all we would do here is we click add caption. Now, by adding the caption, that sets this here as the alternative text. So what I'll do here is I'll go in and type in our students, we'll say on the coastline field trip. So same thing, you want to make sure that you describe what's going on in this particular photo here. What I do is I just go in and click save, and we can see that we've successfully added that caption on. It's important to note when you add that caption on, that does set that as the alternative text for that particular photo there. Let's go back over to our Scholar Rules and Expectations page. Now remember, we had something else here that we needed to fix. So let's click on the emoji icon. We see we need to go in and we need to change where this file is located. As it is right now, it's really not in the most accessible format. So we can go in and we can fix this here. So I'm going to start here by just going in. I'm going to right click on this. What I'll do is I'll select insert below. And then from here, I'm going to find the type of content I want to add. Let's see, just looking for that content block. Be just a moment. There it is. I apologize, I didn't see that there. So this is really cool here. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in, I'm going to type in important documents. And we're going to go in here as well. And I'm going to set this here. I'm actually just going to delete this here as well. I'm going to set this here as heading 2. So the same type of headings that we were using earlier. And what I'm going to do here, everyone, is I'm just going to go in, I'm going to type in green tech student rules. What I'll do from here is I'm just going to go in, I'm going to highlight over this. And this is actually really cool. We have a new way that you can go in and do this. So let's pretend we didn't have this file here. What I do is I click on the link icon. Check this out. I go to where I have this stored. So it'll be just a moment. We're going to look up webinar. All right. Actually, we'll just do this here. And I'm looking for the PDF. I see it right here. Check this out. I switch this to document, and I just drag and drop it down. And what that does is it goes in, and just by dragging and dropping that file down, it actually links it to that text there. So it's cool. You don't even need to use the file manager to do that anymore. So let's take a look and see here, everyone. Let's save, and let's click on the emoji icon one more time. So I click on this. Look at that. It says our page looks good. So that means for the most part, we're pretty much all set to go here. And this is really cool as well. So not only does it help with website accessibility, but what it also does too is it makes your page more seamless here. And it's helpful for website accessibility too, because you have the title of the actual document here. So when someone is going in and they're using a screen reader, this is going to be able, that screen reading program is going to be able to provide them with information about the document that they're opening. So I click this here, and as we're able to see, it makes adding, it's a cool way to go in and to add documents over to your page. All right, everyone. So what I want to do, everyone, here is I want to go in and turn the floor over to you for you to ask any questions that you have about accessibility. So remember, for questions, what you want to go in and do is you want to type those questions in the chat box on the right side of your screen. And in the meantime, I do also want to go in and I want to show you how you can also go in and very easily add alternative text to images that you have perhaps on news and announcements. So for this here, we just go in, we go to the hamburger button, we go to information, and we click news. I click on our news article, and all we do in this case here is we just go in, we select edit, and we just add a caption here. So we'll type in, "Are students participating in the science fair?" And we can see here, so that means that we've successfully set that as alternative text. And we have a great question here from Kim regarding alternative text. To give existing images alternative text, what is the most efficient approach, especially for an image placed on a support created page and that is text wrapped? That is a great question. So anytime you have a page that, for example, our tech support team embedded, the best thing to do in that case is anytime you need to make changes to that, I would definitely recommend going in and sending a tech support ticket in regarding that as well for that, to have that added on as well. For other things, the best thing to do is, anytime you're adding a new image, I always recommend adding that on. But it's also important to note, what's really going to be a part of the content on your page, and when is an image going to be more or less decorative. If you have the case where an image is decorative, this is it's really on a case-by-case basis that this would be determined. You can also go ahead anytime you add an image on, you can also go in and add it on. And in this case here, actually, this image that we see here would very likely on this page, because it's really not the main content on the page. This here would be something that you could definitely go in and mark as decorative here as well. And that's important because what that does is it tells a screen reading program to essentially not read read the photo. What I mean by that is if you don't have alternative text on there, what ends up happening is it actually will read the file name. So it's definitely something we want to avoid. And in this case here, this page here, it's probably better to have this image marked as decorative because, we're in that situation where this photo's really not part of the main content there. And this is a great question here as well from Kim. Kim's asking, are faculty and staff images in a directory able to be given alternative text? That's a great question. I'm not too sure. Let's go ahead and find out. So what I do here, so I go over to the staff directory. I'm just going to save this here real quickly. Let's go ahead. I'm going to take a look at my photo that we have here. Now, in this case here, I just realized this. Remember, to edit a profile photo, what you would want to do is you'd actually want to go over to the user settings on the website. So what I do is I'm going to go in and find the staff members. I'm actually going to, let's take a look at Mr. Evans' photo. So I click on his name, click Edit Photo. And in this case here, so this in particular looks like it doesn't have that there, but I think part of the reason for that is because if you look at a staff directory, it has their names and everything on there. So I think that may be the reason why that's not necessary in that particular case there. And that is something important to know. And it is an interesting question. And actually, being on this page here brings up another question. Do teachers, do staff pages have the ability to add on alternative text? Absolutely. So all the formatting options I showed you today, your staff can, put into practice when they are going in and they're creating their teacher pages. If we go in over here and we right-click, we could select accessibility, and we actually already see that this already has alternative text. And then also your staff does have access to the formatting options that we saw on the rules and expectations page that we edited a little bit earlier today as well. All right, everyone. Oh, absolutely. This is a great question, Kim. Kim's asking PDF, are there aspects of a PDF to optimize for accessibility? And this is a great question. I would say yes. So one thing that you want to keep in mind with a PDF is you want to make sure that there's some type of a text aspect to it. So as an example here, and be just a moment, I'm just going to pull something up here that I could show you. Now, Now, in terms of how you do this, every word processor is going to be a little bit different. But what you want to make sure to do is you really want to have that text aspect to it. So one thing that you would want to make sure to do is you want to make sure that you have the headings set up. So in this case, this is set to default. So I'll set this here as title. And then in this case here, what we would do is we would set this as a subtitle over here. So you want to make sure, just the same way that we went in and we added headings to that web page, you want to also add it onto your PDFs as well. And then once you do that, what happens here, you can go in and export to PDF. Now, just keep in mind that every single word processor, whether it's Word, any word processor is just going to be a little bit different in terms of how you do this. So it is converting over to a PDF. And what I do here is I click Next. I'll put in 2021. I'm going to click Export. And I select this here, and we're able to go in, we can highlight the text, so that means that, it can be read by a screen reader. Now, sometimes what happens is, and this is what we generally are going to want to avoid, if we have something that we scanned in and we converted it to a PDF, that would not be accessible, just because a screen reading program, there wouldn't be a way for it to be able to read the information on the page. So that's something that you generally do want to avoid. You do want to avoid scanned in images or images of documents for that as well. So Kim, those are some excellent questions. Everyone, please feel free to send in any questions you have. I do want to mention as well that if you do have any questions about your website, a great resource as well. So let's say, as an example, so when Kim was asking about, seeing about adding alternative text to a page our tech support team assisted with, definitely something we could check into. What you'd want to do is you just go over here to the hamburger button, you go over to the dashboard, and you would just go in and you would click create ticket for that. And we also have the phone number for our tech support team as well, which is perfect for questions. We do ask for requests that they are sent in via a ticket. And the reason for that is that, of course, allows us to go in and to verify the permissions for that particular ticket. Just that the person requesting the change has permission. And an interesting point here as well, and I just thought of this here. So especially if you're a website admin, something you can do if your staff ever has questions about setting up their page for website accessibility, the great thing is that's definitely something that you can help them out with. What you'll go and do is you'll just go in, you'll select staff directory, and you can actually go right over to the profile. So we see here Mr. Evans' page really isn't the most accessible. So there's definitely things that we can fix here. One of them is, we could add alternative text here. So you can go in and help out with your staff's teacher pages just by going over to their profile on the website. Everyone, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your busy days to join us here for Website Accessibility 2021. I've enjoyed meeting with you all here today. Please remember, too, that if you have any questions, to feel free to go ahead and to either send me an email or give me a call. My direct line is 407-910-2222. Also, too, if you would like to go in and to set up a time for a website training or an accessibility training, please feel free to reach out, and I will be happy to go ahead and to help out with that. Everybody, keep inspiring those future generations, and I look forward to meeting with you all again really soon. Take care, everybody.